The scene is still taped off, and the car is still in the ravine. The exit is still closed, and it started more than 5 hours ago with an alleged shoplifting incident more than 10 miles away.
Safety building. Scott?
Well, that's right. We just talked to the chief not long ago, and he tells us with more and more people showing up to Friday's march as the night progressed, that meant he had to call more and more officers in, which meant overtime at the cost to the taxpayer. But he says it's a small price to pay when you're talking about public safety.
Scott Kilbury covered that story yesterday. He's on today's story from LaGrange Park. Scott, are police connecting these two cases?
Well, when we spoke to Rochester Police today, they were not answering our questions, but we can tell you that state police were here today. We can only guess that they were trying to connect anything with their investigation from yesterday in Caledonia. Now, in that situation, as mentioned, it was in a remote area along a cornfield. Today, it's in the city at a park where children play. Marketplace Mall is turning itself into a new regional outlet center. The owners are promising cheaper stores, more restaurants, and more entertainment. I'm Scott Kilbury. More than 40,000 deaf people live in Rochester, so building a place especially for the deaf community makes sense.
Never seen any Star Wars, I'm going to admit, so I can't even come back with a line for you.
Why not? Biathlon. You know, it's that crazy sport where they cross-country ski and then shoot at targets in between breaths and then cross-country ski again.
For new developers and a new proposal.
Scott Kilbury just spoke with city leaders, and he's joining us live from the Port of Rochester. So, Scott, what's going on now?
Well, I can tell you the construction crews are here as we speak. They're trying to get this site prepared for development. We're talking about hotels, shops, condos. The only catch is it's not going to be Edgewater Resources. See, that developer, which is based out of Michigan, did not meet today's deadline, as mentioned, outlined by the mayor, to provide details of the project's financing. Instead, it asked for an additional 9 months, and it's already had years. But the city officials are telling us that they are not discouraged, and they still believe that the Port of Rochester will have development.
The opportunity for our community.
Now, Smith went on to say that if you need evidence that they are committed to development in this area, look no further than the marina behind us. It was just completed last month at a $22 million price tag. Now, coming up at 5 and 6, we're going to hear from people from Charlotte and get their reaction to today's announcement. Reporting live from the Port of Rochester, Scott Kilbury, News 10 NBC.
At least one business owner says he's had enough.
Yeah, you're definitely right. The intersection here was a crime scene just 2 nights ago, and unfortunately, it's not the only one in the area. When we spoke to those business owners and residents, they both said that if things don't get any better, they just might leave. Candles sit along a curb on Clinton Avenue as a makeshift vigil outside Miss India's Soul Food Kitchen. Unfortunately, it was a crime scene last night. A 24-year-old man attending the vigil was gunned down.
So it was some of my customers that, that they were out there.
There's still evidence somewhere inside this place of business. One of the bullets came through the window.
The bullets don't have no names on them. I just thank God that we wasn't here.
Larkin has been on this corner for 4 years and says she's not going anywhere just yet. That might not be the case for Tony Rossi and his family's business 2 blocks down the road. But that said, what you've seen in the escalating crime here, this is something that's enough to make you think about moving.
Yeah, Chester's been in this neighborhood 30 years. He's a big part of this community. But it comes a time when we have to worry about our safety of the employees.
Despite beefing up security, adding lights and cameras, crime continues in the area. A 20-year-old man was killed outside of Chester's check cashing business Monday night.
It comes a time when, we got to weigh up, is it worth it? And, we're at that point now.
Hopefully it will pass.
Now, the vigil last night was held for the victim of Monday night shooting here at Chester's, and the owner of that business tells us he's working with police to help find a suspect. He's sharing his surveillance video. Right now, no arrests have been made. Coming up at 6, we're going to hear from a young man who grew up in the neighborhood who says he actually lives in fear. We are live at the corner of Clinton and Clifford Avenue. Scott Kilbury, News 10 NBC.
They forgot about us.
Snowbound, we work to get help for a woman who says a lack of road plows left her trapped in her home. She turned to us for help, asking when plows might come through her city street. Good evening, I'm Scott Kilbury.
How were you able to help? For shovel in the coming days.
That is a question many of us are asked. Is the snow done for now?
Not quite. It's a little brushable in places, guys. We've had some flurries.
All right, thanks, Kevin. We are still working to get answers for why Monroe County officials waited so long to issue a travel advisory during yesterday's storm. It was issued at 10 a.m. hours after surrounding counties issued similar warnings and after a significant amount of snow had already fallen. Our meteorologists called for more than a foot of snow several days ago, but with an advisory issued so late, hundreds of drivers ended up trapped on local roadways. Many of them reached out to us.
Clean the roads, let the police get where they need to be.
We tried to contact the county executive today to find out if they were reassessing their emergency plans, but we were unable to reach anyone. We, of course, will continue to search for answers. New tonight, police were called to a rollover crash in Webster. The troopers on the scene tell us a driver was going too fast for the conditions and lost control. Luckily, no one was hurt. We're working to learn more whether the driver will be ticketed.
Before it gets better, good evening, I'm Jennifer Mobilia.
I'm Scott Kilbury. Passengers across the country have been forced to wait hours in security lines. TSA has promised more staff and more baggage-sniffing dogs to ease the congestion, but we haven't even hit peak travel times yet. Jennifer Lukey is live at the airport tonight, and Jen, Rochester is not a hub, but passengers there should still expect delays too, right?
It is time now for a quick look at your News 10 NBC forecast.
Brianna DiPilato is here now with what we can expect. We had rain earlier. Is that all gone for now?
It is for now.
Testimony continued today in a case that shocked our community. A shooting that killed 3 young men outside the Boys and Girls Club in Rochester. Right now, the first of 3 suspects is on trial. Johnny Blackshell is accused in the deaths of 19-year-old Raekwon Manigault, 17-year-old Jonah Barley, and 25-year-old Johnny Johnson last August. A shooting victim who was shot in the back told the jury he heard the gunfire and then hit the ground. And the defense questioned the testimony of another witness because of his criminal record.
Eyewitness
testimony in the case resumes tomorrow. New at 11, plans that could make medical marijuana more available to you. The State Assembly passed 2 bills. One would require a public list of doctors who are registered to prescribe the drug. Another bill would allow nurse practitioners and physician assistants to prescribe medical marijuana. Right now, only doctors have that power. Both measures now head to the state Senate. Also new at 11, we've been following the work to improve Rochester's schools. Now, we've told you how failing schools can put a drain on the system and lead to crime. One effort to improve city schools includes the University of Rochester's takeover of East High School. Tonight, the school superintendent discussed progress with a focus on boosting attendance, addressing social, emotional, and academic needs. While school leaders report progress, they tell us improvement is an uphill climb. Because of dropouts and seniors not meeting academic standards in prior years, East High projected a graduation rate of 19%. School leaders now expect 23% of seniors will graduate.
Still ahead, a statewide practice that gets almost every judge a promotion.
It means they get more cases, but they also get more money. Berkeley Breen asks if it's fair to taxpayers who pay those salaries. His New York State Exposed report is coming up.
Judges are now acting Supreme Court justices.
And it allows them to handle more cases, but it also means bigger paychecks paid by your tax dollars. Berkeley Breen asks if this is fair.
And Brianna is back with your full News 10 NBC forecast.
Well, Brianna, earlier we saw a lot of green on the Doppler radar. Are we seeing that now?